On and around Mount Diablo, small ponds support an abundance of wildlife, providing food and habitat for a richly diverse microecosystem. Henry David Thoreau described ponds as Earth's eye, looking into which the beholder measures the depth of his own nature. And Thoreau had it right. If you allow yourself to sit beside a pond and simply take in the vitality and tranquility of nature, you'll be assured of being better for it. But wait, could there be danger here? A creature that creates a toxin 10 times more deadly than cyanide? That's a California newt. This beloved, gentle creature can be deadly? We asked East Bay Regional Park District biologist ranger Ed Culver to help us dig in deeper.
California newts carry a specific neurotoxin in their skin called tetrodotoxin. That tetrodotoxin is actually quite lethal to a lot of different animals that would regularly prey on the newt. The newt actually has a really bright yellow underside to inform its potential predators that, you know, don't eat me or else I'm going to make you really sick and potentially even kill you.
The newts here in Briones Regional Park are well known. But why are there no newts on Mount Diablo itself? Local naturalist Michael Marciano is a specialist in Mount Diablo natural history, having studied the area for over 50 years.
Newts particularly need a damper environment. Mount Diablo is so hot and so dry. Even though we get the seasonal rains of the Coast Range, we dry out much faster.
It's early in the year and breeding season has begun. Marciano explains that the newts have come down from their upland hibernation shelters, often squirrel or gopher holes, and travel back to the ponds, lakes, or creeks where their own lives began.
One's crawling up on the ground here, in fact, right now. That's a female. And another female behind her in the water, but there's a male behind that one. The males have a smooth skin on it. When they come and they arrive first at these ponds, right after the first rains, they go through a change in their structure of a much wider, longer tail for swimming purposes, smooth skin, mating ritual that goes on where the males will chase the females, and finally one of them will find a female and go into amplexus. And amplexus is where the male literally wraps himself around the female and holds on to her, and they kind of swim together for up to a few hours. And then the male goes off in his own direction, the female goes off in hers, and within a couple of weeks she will lay anywhere from 10 to about 40 eggs in an egg case. Now the egg cases look like this. They look like a gelatin casing, and inside you can see the little embryos, those little spots that are inside of there.
Around the same time that newts are laying their eggs, rangers are working to understand their ponds better.
We do pond surveys because we want to look at the creatures that live in the pond, the creatures that use the pond, the general water quality of the pond to see if it is suitable for amphibians and reptiles to live in those ponds. We're looking for evidence of reproduction, so we're looking for larvae of each of the different species, and we're just in general looking for the overall health of the amphibians that use the pond.
These egg sacs will soon hatch, and new larvae will breathe through the use of gills until lungs develop and gills disappear.
What's really interesting is we do tend to see when those terrestrial newts move into an aquatic setting, that concentration of the tetrodotoxin seems to diminish within the skin of the newts, making them a bit more susceptible to predation. And then the larvae that are in the ponds don't tend to have the same level of tetrodotoxin the adults do. So they are also susceptible to predation. So in places where we have non-native American bullfrogs like this pond, we will often see the bullfrogs just completely gorging themselves on newt larvae and even sometimes newt adults.
All that said, there are documented cases of bullfrogs dying after swallowing a newt, and the newt literally crawling from the dead bullfrog's mouth, unharmed. New studies have shown that females have significantly greater concentrations of toxins than males, increasing their chances of producing the next generation of offspring. Equally as significant is that high toxin levels may create an aroma that help newts choose mates who are less vulnerable to predation, as if competition for a suitable mate wasn't already fierce.
And then the most fascinating part of the toxicity is the whole thing of the relationship with the newt and the garter snake.
This almost legendary arms race between the newt and the garter snake has driven newt toxicity to startling levels, only to be countered by the garter snake's extremely high tolerance to tetrodotoxin.
The newt's toxicity is in their skin. And the only way it's released is by chewing on it or eating it. Contrary to what everybody talks about them and kind of overblows this toxicity thing, no, you would not want to chew on one. Yes, it would be serious, but you're not going to get poisoned by a newt.
The pond we started out beside is both more full of dramatic life and interesting stories, and less dangerous to us than we might have thought. For humans at least, the tranquil pond is tranquil once again.